Hello everyone and welcome back to Gabriel Knight, The Sins of the Fathers 20th Anniversary Edition. We're into day 2 of the game. I was about to say the Voodoo murders, but I guess they have been going on before this. But the second day. And we're going out.
I'm out of here. Try not to sell out the store while I'm gone.
Uh-huh.
How the fuck do you pay her? Let's see now, we're going to the Voodoo Museum today. Now that's Dixieland. There it is, Voodoo Museum.
Welcome, my friend. Hello. I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
Well, I'm not sure anymore, but in the old game, as I mentioned like in the first episode, Tim Curry was Gabriel Knight, and Michael Dorn was Dr. John, who played Worf on Star Trek The Next Generation. And even Mark Hamill was in the game, but I can't remember which voice he did, but he's a great voice actor. I mean, doing the Joker and everything. Whew! Look at that, a Rada drummer.
A street drummer has settled outside the museum.
Switch. What's this? A shrine, okay. What's that? What's this?
The Voodoo shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl.
Yeah, especially this weird doll head thing. What's that? Hey,
Magenta Moonbeam. Voodoo Inn.
what's that?
A flyer advertising Magenta Moonbeam, a local Voodoo Inn. Her parlor is on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine.
Voodoo Ian is like a female voodoo priest? Is that what it means? Another Rada drummer
A
there.
street drummer has settled outside the museum.
What? They must be going through here because I thought it was an icon picture of a Rada drummer. That doesn't make sense.
This coffin is so small.
Oh, I just realized what kind of coffin that was. Not cool, dude. Not cool.
Will that look sacrilegious?
Yeah, but most things in Voodoo does look a little bit sacrilegious.
Wonder who that poor bastard was.
Probably plastic.
They lend a certain psychotic ambiance, no?
Mm-hmm. Weird stuff here. Really weird stuff. It's a knife, Rada drum fan. This is a whip? Oh, it's a cat o' nine tails,
A
isn't it?
leather whip hangs from a peg on the wall.
Oh, hurt me.
Not with that one. That one would fucking hurt, Gabriel. I'm partial to whipping myself, but come on, that one is a cat o' nine tails, the old version. That would sting. Really sting. What's this? It's a painting.
That must be Marie Laveau.
And who's Marie Laveau? Sorry, I don't know anything about voodoo. Well, I know a bit about voodoo, but not like voodoo history about New Orleans or anything like that. But there was a snake on the
A
wall.
very large, very formidable looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. The snake is too far away.
Oh, it moves. I didn't notice that.
The python is quite dangerous. I would stay back if I were you.
Thanks for the advice.
Okay. And that dude.
Dr. John is a huge man. If his manner weren't so pleasant, he'd be intimidating.
Okay. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, wishing stump? What's that?
An official voodoo wishing stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card says.
Funny, I say the same thing to women. I wish Molly Getty were mine forever. Really, I mean it.
What was that?
Huh? Nothing.
What was that? Well, rub it and make a wish. That's kind of a lousy pickup line, but I would love it to work. Really would love that to work, but nah. Sorry. We have some kind of electrical switch
It's an
here?
electrical switch.
For what? Well, this is an adventure game. You poke and do everything that's... Whoa, there's a skeleton there?
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, the snake goes
sorry.
crazy. Look at
We
that.
have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see.
The snake goes crazy. Alright, they feel the vibrations and all that. Ah, yeah. Makes sense now. Got it.
Could I ask you a few questions?
That is why I am here.
Hello there, Dr. John.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo, or the voodoo currently practiced in the city.
Honestly, I would actually like to go to New Orleans just for... first of all, I'm curious about voodoo, but I guess that's more like a stereotype. But number two, I'm really interested in Cajun cooking. I love food. I would probably get sick as crazy, but I would still love to try on some properly made Cajun food.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper. I know they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
Okay.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States, as far as I am concerned.
Of course you are, because it's your city.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Ah, you have perhaps noticed the museum snake, Mr. Knight? They are beautiful creatures. Do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
They do? I didn't know that. Snakes are quite friendly creatures. Well, they seem friendly because they are cold-blooded and you're warm-blooded, but if you get one inside your shirt, it will make itself nice and snug inside your shirt.
Tell me about
Quite
yourself.
nice.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
About
Why
this?
did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
Alright.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
That's usually what I say too, just to avoid having a discussion.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us just say I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No, the museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
Which is snakes?
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Mali, I get her. Sorry, I think I spoiled the game now.
Actually, I can't think of a thing.
Then let us discuss something else.
Snakes. Voodoo.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
Okay.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion, formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importings of slaves from that region.
Interesting.
So, how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian Revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
Uh-huh.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight. If only in the form of a communal barn. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
What? A snake called the Great Zombie? Not Baron Samedi? I think I'm mixing up metaphors here. Fun fact, I actually do own a voodoo doll. Made properly too. You know, with like Spanish moss and all that stuff. So, properly made voodoo doll.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons, and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances, right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Okay, this is a history lesson, and while you're at it, I mean, the Creole people is an interesting people in themselves, from New Orleans with the French background and all that, but if you have the opportunity, do check out the term Creolization. It's a very interesting historical fact used in research quite often when it comes to colonial or imperial history or archaeology.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau.
Ah, there she is.
Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Finally! Marie Laveau. Now we finally know who the fuck she was. Historical character, leader of the voodoo cult.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in the religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I personally am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Well, I can only agree with you. So tell me about tell me about Marie Laveau.
Tell me about Marie Laveau.
There were
Look at that.
actually two Marie Laveaus, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire.
Okay.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Interesting. Hoodoo.
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the gree-gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. John. And that will be enough for me for this episode. So, thanks so much for watching, guys, and if you did like what you saw, do leave a like and a comment. But for now, I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys later.